Hello everybody, this is Lunnaris, and now we're gonna talk about PvP battles and the one thing everyone wants to know, how to get maximum glory. So, if you want to attack another player in Atlas, there's a few things you need to keep in mind. So let's first look at my Primarch, or rather all. If you want to attack, you need to look at your stats. So those who have high attack power are the destroyer or the sieger. If I want to attack someone else, my attack power needs to be higher than his defense power. Why is that? So I lose less troops and can destroy more enemy troops. Because if I lose my own troops in an attack, which I will most likely do always, but if I do, I don't get glory from losing my own troops in an attack. Also, that is why I want to minimize the troops I lose through attacking. That is why always look that your attack power is higher than the enemy defense power. So with a sieger, you can attack nearly anybody. Maybe not a high level trapper like my one is, because you see the sieger, mine has 277 and my trapper has 305 defense. So if I wanted to attack with my sieger, always look at your target and choose someone with lower defense power than your attack power. Also, you could, if you look at the stats of my trapper, 63 attack power and taunter 90 attack power, that is more than the defense power of my sieger has right now. So you can attack with trapper and taunter, but you need to be really careful that your target has a lower defense power. So always look at that when you want to attack. So on the other hand, if you're defending or if you're getting attacked, what you want is that your defense power is higher than the opponent's attack power. Primarchs with high defense are taunter and trapper. So those it's rather hard to find a sieger to attack. You might find one, but that's a lot of time, a lot of looking around in no man's land. You can look if there's something around. No man's land are the red zones like this. Here everybody can attack anybody. Free for all attacking. Also, I wouldn't recommend to go or move your Primarch to another castle which is owned by a team. You don't want to start an Atlas battle, right? So here in no man's land, here are 2 destroyers, and here on the left side where you can see attack, I can get 100% glory on this base. But if I look at the player level on the left bottom, it's 220. Yeah, I don't think I can beat his base completely with one dragon. We'll get back to this in a second. So from his stats, my sieger could defeat his defense power, but if he attacks me back, he can beat my defense. So it's probably not a good idea to move here and attack him. Neither with my taunter, trapper, or with my sieger. Not a good idea. So, since it's so hard to find a target to attack with my taunter or my trapper, what I do, I load them up with troops. You tap on your taunter, and here you can load up troops from barracks to your Primarch. So I load them up, move them to no man's land, and let them be killed. That works very well. I get glory for those troops I lose in defense, and I can level them up in the next training prim event. So, on to the next thing. In PvP battles, there's also a fort bonus. As long as my Primarch, this is our team castle Darkened Skies, as long as my Primarch is sitting here, I get a fort bonus. As long as our castle has a fort, we look at manage. So we have a fort. This means that if I get attacked while my Primarch is here, I get an additional 100 points in defense. Or if an enemy Primarch moves here, then, and I want to attack him, I get an additional 100 points for my attack power. So, if an enemy Primarch is sitting here, I can also attack with my Taunter. Let's look at her stats. She has 150 now. If I get another 100, it's gonna be 250, which is very nice. So, next point is the army size you have. If we look here at the bottom, I have 24k on my Taunter now. The higher my army size is compared to my opponent, the better it is. So, if we look at the No Man's Land again and the Primarchs there, let's see what they have on their Primarchs. On the right bottom, you can see he has 5k on his Primarch. So, this is very well. I suggest saving your troops and load up as much as you can and then go glory hunting if you want to attack or get your trapper killed, something like that, because the more troops you have on your Primarch, the better. Another thing for our castle defenses, it's always good if you have troops in your barracks also, because this helps with our defense. Let's see. Tap on castle, manage, and then barracks. Now you can see I have 13k in my barracks. Our current team goal is for every player to have 20k in his or her barracks and use anything else you can get for glory hunting. This is because we need our castles to be as secure as they can be, and more troops helps greatly. So the next thing to keep in mind for PvP battles is you get more glory if you can destroy the base completely. If you can beat the base 100%, then you get more glory. Also, if you only use one dragon, you get 5 flames. So if you can do that, beat the base completely, get 5 flames, that's the way to get most glory. So that was it for PvP battles. And next we're gonna talk about glory. Glory is the XP in Atlas. So how can I earn this? You need to keep in mind 2 things to earn glory. First, you gotta do PvP battles in Atlas. That means player versus player, attacking another player in Atlas. Not the Atlas mine. If you want gold, you get to the mine, attack here. This is your Atlas invader base. It's the same level as your own base. A great way to train your dragons and get lots of XP. Also, here are the poachers. If you attack them on the left bottom, you see you can get gold and also shards for rider gear. So these 2 ways aren't meant with PvP battles. PvP battle means you go to No Man's Land, for example, and attack another player. So also in that battle, troops must be killed. So if there's a Primarch in No Man's Land with only 1 troop on it, forget about it. You can't get glory from killing 1 troop. Or even if you do, it's gonna be so little, that's not worth the effort. So, next step, glory calculation. The glory you get depends on 4 things. It's a lot mathematics, but I'll talk later about you what I saw what works best. So first thing is the number of enemy troops you can kill determines the max glory you can get. So if someone has lots of troops, you can get more glory. Then here he only has 2k troops, so I'm not gonna get that much glory. I get more glory the more troops the enemy has. So also if the next point is the number of my own troops which are killed in the battle. If my troops die, I don't get glory, but the number of troops killed, they cap the maximum amount of glory I can get. The number of my own troops times 1.5, that is the maximum glory I can get. This also plays a part in glory. The third point is player level difference. This means the closer my level is to the other player's level, the more glory I can earn. So this one would be, for me, rather well. It's not too many troops, but the player level is around mine. So for me, this would be a nice target. The fourth thing is the team influence or team ranking. It's not important for No Man's Land battles, but for Atlas battles at castles. So I'm not gonna go into depth here. That also plays a part. If you want more info about the mathematics, I can put a link in line or on the website. It's a lot of numbers, but I usually don't do much calculation. I know what to look out for, what will work best, and that's what we're gonna do now. What I've experienced and what works best for me. So if you want maximum glory, search in No Man's Land for a good opponent who is around your own level. There you can get most glory. Also, if you attack, make sure that you have more troops than the enemy you want to attack. So keep that in mind. The more troops the better, but at least have a little bit more than the player you want to attack. Also, if you defend, I usually move them to Alligane, go to castles, bookmarks, Alligane. Now come on, here it is. So usually there's a really big glory party going on there. If you want your trapper or taunter killed, load them up with troops and send them here. If you make the map higher, you can see this lake here, and on the right side is Alligane. Now I made it too big. Okay, gotta search for it again. Ah, yeah. Glory party going on there. So, I also said in the Primarch video that with a trapper or a taunter you can attack a sieger, since their defense power is so low. But I think it's gonna be hard to find a low level player with a sieger. If you look at this one, it's a high level player. The defense power is low, but I for sure couldn't take the space down 100% or with 5 flames. And that also plays a part in how many glory you can get. Also, the troops on the sieger, he doesn't have many left. So there are a lot of things which work in the glory calculation. It really is hard to explain and hard to get this right. But I have heard of a new strategy, but for it to work you need to open your third Primarch slot, which is very hard. It costs 30 million. The maximum gold I can store is 5 million now, but you can also pay with diamonds, and I saved up quite a lot. So what I'm gonna do next training Primarch event is opening my third slot, so I can use 3 Primarchs at once. So why is this beneficial? In Eligane, if you want to move in there and attack, you mostly get attacked in turn, and when I moved there I only could 1 or 2 attacks with my destroyer or sieger, and then I'm getting killed, and that way I'm just losing troops without getting much glory, so I don't really like doing that anymore. So for the strategy is, if you move all 3, you can have a taunter, a trapper and a sieger. So then you move in with all 3, you trap your target with a trapper. I wouldn't do this at Eligane actually, because there are so many players there. If you want to do that, go somewhere else where there's only 1 or 2 Primarchs around your level. Move in with your taunter, trapper, sieger or destroyer. Then you trap your target, your taunter protects your sieger or your destroyer, and then you can take out your target with the sieger or your destroyer. It's a very nice strategy I heard from a higher level player, and I think it can work really well, but for opening the third slot you need to save up a lot of diamonds, and I think it's gonna be worth it, but I'm leaving that up to every one of you. So that's what I found out about PvP battles and glories and what works best for me. So I hope this helped you guys, and if you have anything to add, I'm willing to learn. Hello everybody. So since in the video about PvP battles and glory, I think it is very complicated and I told you a lot of info. It's also still complicated for me, but I'll do a little summary on what I know works for me or what I'm doing. So for my Primarchs, I got all of them mostly to get points in training Primarch event. That's why I got all, but the one I'm always using is the Trapper, because it's useful for Atlas alliances. So whatever other Primarchs you get or you want to level up for points, always have your Trapper active so you can help in alliance battles. The reason we're doing so well in Atlas is because of our membership in the alliance, and if our own castles would be attacked, the alliance would help us, but in return we gotta show them that we're active, an active team, active Atlas team, and that we help them also. So if you can, if you have a little time, help in Atlas alliance battles as much as you can, so we show them we're active and we're doing our part. Also, as I said, a Trapper is useful at any researched Trapper level, at any player level. You don't have to attack with it, just move to the, in our Atlas chat group, Marmax or me or somebody else will post the coordinates or also the bookmark for the castle where you're supposed to move, and you just trap. If our ally, if they're getting attacked, you trap siegers, enemy siegers, so they can't attack. If we are supporting an attack from our alliance to another team, if we are the attacking part, then we trap the taunters. But all the info will be given if another battle takes place. So, what I recommend, always have your Trapper active. For the other Primarchs, if you want to level them up, as I said before, if I want to level up my Trapper or my Taunter, I load them up with troops and move them to Alligene, as I showed you in the last video. I load them up with as much troops as I can and let them be killed. Because, as I said, finding a low-level sieger, a sieger around your own level, those aren't exactly running around. But it is possible to do this. Always check your attack power and the defense power of the sieger. If your own attack power of your Trapper or Taunter is higher than the sieger's defense, you can do this. So, for the other things, if you, with a Destroyer or a Sieger, with those, to level them up, you need to attack another player. Here, also look at the stats, look at your own attack power, and in No Man's Land, here, for those, I wouldn't move to Alligene. I look at the No Man's Land around me, and look for a good target. A good target is someone around my level, since that in the calculation, that helps me get more glory. Also, I need to have more troops than the player I want to attack on my Destroyer or my Sieger. Keep that in mind. Yeah, now it's low loading, or maybe there isn't somebody here. Let's look again if we can find someone. Yeah, if you want to attack, it's a lot of searching, a lot of patience to get a good target, but yeah. Oh, there is one sieger. Okay, if you look at right bottom, you see this one has only one troop left, so even if I attack him, I don't get any glory. No glory at all, because there aren't troops to kill. Yeah. So look at the level, his stats, his attack and defense power, and if he has any troops. Also, the strategy, a higher level player told me, this can also work with only 2 Primarchs. It can work with a Trapper and Destroyer or Sieger. If you move in and trap the Sieger here, as I said, this wouldn't be a good target for me, not for anybody really. But just for example, if I move in here and trap him with my Trapper and then finish him off with my other Primarch, that can also work with only 2 Primarchs. You don't necessarily have to use 3, but that's what I'm gonna do after next training prim event. So far for my strategy. And as I said, if you have anything to add or questions, you can always message me in Lime or in the game, and I'll get to it as soon as I have time. So, have fun glory hunting and see you in the game.